Hi, this video is about using the catalog and general education options to choose your classes. That way, as you meet with counselors, you can have a more in-depth conversation and do a lot of things and look up information in between your meetings with your counselor. So the first thing you need to know about picking classes or looking up this information is knowing what your goal is. Do you want to obtain a certificate or an associate's degree? That will also then help you figure out what general education option to take or to use. And then also, if you're transferring with an associate's degree, you'll want to check out assist.org for other required classes for the school that you want to transfer to. This video will cover the first couple options. We have a lot of different certificates and associate degrees here at Solano. Of course, the counselors are willing to help you figure this out, and our Career Center and Transfer Center is here to help you. But that's part of what we'll look at in the catalog to understand where you can find this information and what the requirements are. Additionally, if you are wanting to transfer, we have associate degrees for transfer, AATs or ASTs, depending on the major, that outline the suggested sequencing of courses that you might want to take for that associate's degree. They're laid out in 4 semester patterns. You, of course, can take a little bit longer if you need to. The general education options are broken down depending on what type of degree you're wanting to get. If you're wanting a certificate, you actually don't need to take any of the general education, you just need to follow the certificate courses. If you want an associate's degree only and then go out and work, you would be using option A, or if the associate degree requires it, you would use option B or C. If you're transferring with an associate's degree, you will definitely want to be using option C if you are only going to go to a California State University, or some private schools and out-of-state schools will also accept this. If you're considering transferring to a UC or CSU, a University of California or California State University, or an HBCU, historically Black college or university, or private university, then you would use the IGETC, which is option B. And they're color-coded because in the counseling office, you will also see that that is the color of paper that they are printed on. Now let me show you where to find this information on the website, so that way if you want to look for it, you can in advance of your counseling appointments. First, you'd want to go to the website, solano.edu, and then as you scroll to the middle of the page, you will see the section here that says catalog. When you click on that, you will see the current year's catalog, 1920. If it is past fall semester, you will see oftentimes an addendum, meaning any updates or any changes to the catalog. And that will be referenced here too, if there's anything to look for. And then if you also need prior year catalogs, that's over here on the left if you started a few years back and need to reference older catalogs. So you'd want to click on the catalog year. You will see that it's broken up into various sections. The first section reviews the mission, goals, student services, student conduct, and any other requirements needed, which would also include the GE options. And you can quickly scroll through. Sometimes is the fastest way to find this information. You can also, of course, look in the index to find this as well. You've got your academic regulations in here about grades. It will also show you information about if you've taken AP tests or have IB learning that you'd like to apply for credit, as well as the graduation requirements. And that will also then lead you to the general education sheets. And here we have the general education sheet for option A. Pretty much what you just need to do for any of these general education sheets is to read over the instructions. So here it is saying you have to have a minimum of the 21 units with at least 3 units from each of the areas listed below, and then the local district requirement. So you would just follow along, and as you take your classes, we have columns for completed, in progress, and planned. So you can keep track of what you're doing yourself and then bring that to the counselor when you have your meeting. Next, we have the option B requirements for IGETC. Similarly, it's going to give you the instructions of what you need to take. So in order to transfer, you need a total of 60 units in combination of your general education and your major courses, and then sometimes electives if that combination doesn't quite equal 60. And then similarly, you would need to read what the instructions are here, how many units you would need to take from each area, complete 1 course, complete 3 courses, and so on and etc. And it will tell you if you can count them in multiple areas or not, such as this restriction right here. And then you'll also see the option C, which is for the CSU pattern. And again, you just read over the instructions. You can print these out for yourself from the catalog, from the website. You can also come to the counseling office and we will hand you a pre-printed copy in the various color-coded. Option A is yellow, option B is purple, option C is green if you like to have it that way. The counselors use this and oftentimes will hand that to you in a counseling appointment too. But it's very important that you be empowered to understand your education progress, and as you take your classes each semester, check them off for yourself to note how far your progress is and how many classes you still need to take. Now the next thing on the catalog is in the different sections is the actual degrees themselves. So you'll see here in section 2, it starts with your accounting through criminal justice, then dance through music, and nursing through welding. And so same thing here. If you were an accounting major, for example, I would click on section 2 and I would scroll through until I found that area. Whoops. And it would again show you exactly what you would need to do. It would show you if you want to just do a certificate, the 29 unit major, you wouldn't have to do any general education, so you just need to take these courses. If you did want to transfer, it tells you here in the associate's degree that you would need to complete 60 units, which means you would complete these required courses, and then you would pick either the CSU or IGETC general education pattern. Either way, just so that your total equals at least 60 units, and if you're transferring, it can be up to 70. And as we keep going through, you'll see here updated in the addendum, so that tells you that there's an update that has happened. And you can see all of the different programs. And then also in the catalog is descriptions of the actual courses. So you might see these listing of ASL1, ASL2, what does that mean? Here's where you can find out that information. As I had mentioned before, we also have some degrees that are specific for transferring. They have the T next to it, and there are suggested outlines. If you don't go in this exact order, that's okay, it's just suggested, but this is also an easy way for you to check off what you've taken. This one follows the IGETC pattern, so that's option B. So you would look at what the major required courses are, and then also the general education. If you don't like that format, there's the regular format here that lists it out, and again, it gives you all the instructions of what you need to take, the required courses, and the general education pattern, and how all of that will equal to 60 units. The other place to find the general education patterns, in addition to at the counseling office or in the catalog, is also on the Transfer Center's website. So if you go to transfer, solano.edu/transfer, you'll see the Transfer Center. Lots of great information here, but in the transfer information section, you will see the GE sheets, CSU and iGETSI, because it's specific for transferring, listed here. And you could click on it and it will pull up the iGETSI sheets, which you can also print out. And again, very easy to follow along. If you have any questions, the counselors are happy to answer, but it's a great way for you to get a jump start on knowing what you need to take. And then there's also a link to assist.org. As I'd mentioned, some schools have extra requirements that they would like you to take prior to you arriving at their school and transferring to it. So you'd want to click on this. That will be covered in a different recording. So finally, what I wanted to just mention is that we do have a lot of ways for the counselors, for you to ask questions of the counselors too. So we have our express counselors for these types of quick questions that are available Monday through Friday, 10:30 to 1, and Monday through Thursday, 4 to 6. 5 p.m. if it's summer or when school is not in session. You're welcome to call us at 707-864-7101, or you can do a real-time chat at solano.edu/counseling/ecounseling.php. And of course, you can call us or use our website to schedule an appointment if you want to have a 30-minute conversation with a counselor, or if you want to do a full degree review or planning of all your courses, you would do an hour-long session. Thanks very much.